Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for helping in. If you're your first time seeing my face, my name is Ryan Suminyema. I'm a med student, studying radiography in my third year. And apart from my medical studies, I'm also a medical content writer. I do a lot of writings on medical articles, medical blog contents, etc. Today is an amazing day. I have an amazing guest speaker all the way from the UK. Hey, Christina, how you doing today? Could you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. Hi, Ransom. I'm Christina. I'm a final year medical student and content creator in the UK.
Soon to be a doctor very soon.
Yeah, soon to be, yeah, August time. Fingers
Hmm.
crossed.
So
A few months away.
she's done with her medical exam, so she's just waiting for her results, and the day she's gonna be crowned as a medical doctor. This is an amazing stuff you're doing. It's not easy at all.
Yeah, it's
So,
been an absolute journey. It flies by. It's a crazy thing going through med school, but yeah, it's gone by so quickly. 5 years.
it's really amazing. Thank you so much for introducing yourself to the audience. So we have some few questions for you to answer for the public. You ready?
Yeah, go for it.
So I want to put a disclaimer out there. Even looking downwards, I'm reading the questions to Christina. So you'll be wondering what's Ransom looking downwards for. You know why I said this? I've said this in my videos. I was invited to come talk to some UK medical students on the act of freelance medical
Mm,
writing. Do you know med school Esther?
it rings a bell.
Yeah, those are the people that invited me. So I
Mm,
had my presenting paper in front of me. So I was just talking, looking downwards, talking. So I just had a message in the background. It was like a Zoom. So I got a message pop up on the chat. So the host, Chantel, Chantel, right? Corbin,
no, I'm not too sure.
a math student. So she was
Mm,
like, hey, she was the host. So she told me, hey, got a message or something. So it was like, okay.
mhm,
They were like asking me, why am I always looking downwards? So I just had to
mhm.
explain to them that these, I'm looking at my presenting paper. So that's why I'm always putting that disclaimer out there. The reason why I'm looking downwards. So the first question goes this way. What really inspired you to both pursue medicine and content creation, especially in the medical education? So tell us.
Mm. What inspired me to do medicine? I remember I decided to do medicine at a really early age. Like it's the stereotypical someone's like 14, 15 in high school. They want to save lives, they want to help people, they're good at science. I was very similar to a lot of people. I felt like I loved biology and I felt like I wanted a career where I could help people with their physical health, with their well-being. And I just felt like as well, because I knew at the time it's quite a difficult degree to get into, I saw it as a bit of a challenge. I remember there was times in my application journey where I felt like, am I good enough to apply? Am I smart enough? There'd be times where I thought I do have what it takes and I can do this. I'm getting better at my, biology and I'm getting the grades, I'm getting the A's and A stars. And then every now and then there'd be a setback. So even though it was a bit of a North Star, like I want to achieve this, it was definitely like a journey. And I've come to realize later on, coming towards the end of medical school and doing content creation, I do like a bit of challenge and a bit of a journey, a bit of back and forth whenever I'm working towards something. So that was the main reason I chose to do medicine. In terms of content creation in the medical education space, um, because it was so hard to get in, I started actually making content just on tips on how to get into medical school, how to make your application stand out, how to get the grades, how to apply strategically, in a smart way, how to maximize your chances. So that's how I started content. And then eventually transitioned into medical education, where I started working with Geeky Medics when I reached out to the founder on LinkedIn. And I started to really enjoy that as well because it was a bit of a different topic. It's not applications anymore, it's medical education. And it's the sort of thing that actually helps me with my studies now because in the videos I'm making, I'm talking about all the different things that are coming up on my exams. So it's in one part, video production, content creation, but then on the other side, it's like it's actually revision as well. It's like kind of studying.
Wow. In my own understanding, joining the two disciplines is kind of like a hectic work. Studying
Mm.
medicine and also doing content creating. It's
Yeah.
it's it's mind blowing, but thanks to God that you made it. Thank you so much for sharing your, you know, your pursuits for medicine and content creation for the audience. Thank you so much. So you ready for the second question?
Yeah, go for it.
So wait, hold on a minute. Can I ask you a question? Before I
Hmm.
move to the second question, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
We medical students, you can concur as well. We're very curious at some things, right?
Mm.
So the first question I want to ask you before we go to the second question is, did you encounter any challenges during, when you're in med school and also your content creating? What is the specific challenges you faced in, when you're joining the two disciplines together?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, there's been so many challenges. Good question. I don't know where to start. Like, the biggest challenge I think I've had in med school as a whole is probably in my third year out of five, I failed one of my exams. I failed multiple actually. That was really, really tough because that was kind of at the start of my content creation journey. I hadn't built the platform that I have now. I was still very early stages, but I was seeing some traction. I was slowly gaining followers. I had every now and then like lovely comments from people saying that they find my content really helpful. So I definitely wanted to keep going. But at the time, I think the reason why I failed, multiple exams was because I failed multiple exams in a short space of time. I think I just had so much work to do. The workload was a lot. And it was my first time juggling the both of them at the same time. That was the first exam where I had started to become a content creator. And I think now I'm lucky enough that I've done quite well in exams and I've been able to juggle it because maybe over time I've started to develop the time management skills. But that was a huge challenge because not only was it, I failed an exam, I have to do better on the next one, I have to work really hard. It was a lot of imposter syndrome. Up until then, I'd never doubted my place in medical school. I always felt very like confident that I deserve to be here. I've worked hard to get in. I'd gotten the grades. I'd gotten through the tough application process, so I felt very like I deserve to be here. But when I failed that exam, I started to question everything, and I was really like lost. And I was like, "Or maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not smart enough." So that was a tough challenge, but I think it was just a really big lesson and wake up call on time management and how important it is to just juggle your time well. And yeah, I'm just thankful that I've got definitely a better like balance of that now.
Yeah, you got all the time right now because you're at your holiday right now. You can create a lot of content if
Yeah.
you want. You're done with exams, so because I've been following your journey, and you were reading up and down, up and forth, back and forth, like studying for
Mm.
your last papers in med school. But right now, no studying, just go on vacation, just take care of yourself. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. So that draws me back to the second question. How did
Mhm.
you balance your final year of medical studies with your role as a video producer for Geeky Medics and maintaining the relevance of TikTok? So
Mm.
tell us, before you answer that question, tell us what the company Geeky Medics is all about for the audience.
Yeah, so if you've not heard of Geeky Medics, they are a medical education platform aimed at helping not just medical students, but nurses, doctors, radiographers, anyone in the healthcare field recently. Honestly, I think probably benefits from Geeky Medics. So as a video producer, I essentially just help them make some of their short form content, the sort of things you'll see on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. I'll film, edit, and just produce them, and then it'll be uploaded to their website. Um, Going back to your main question, how I juggle all of it, I think what I came to learn after failing my exam was that medicine has to be the priority, like above all of the other things. as cool as it is to be able to make TikTok content and be a video producer, you know, it all stemmed from just being at medical school. Like that really is the number one. And I think maybe when I failed some of my exams unintentionally, I think maybe the priorities slipped a little bit. Maybe I wasn't paying attention to how much I was studying. So I came to realize that as much as I want to be consistent online, you know, if you're making content, consistency is key. You have to be posting regularly. But maybe during exam seasons, I started to implement the fact that it's okay if I'm not posting consistently, if it means that I'm at least studying, because my exams and medicine and medical school, that all comes first. And going back to how I juggle it, in terms of Geeky Medics, it's very good because it's very much like a freelance role. It's I just produce a video whenever I'm available to. It's not an every week thing. It's not an every month thing. It's just I post whenever I can. So there's been weeks and months really where I haven't been able to produce videos, but they're totally okay with that because it's a freelance role. And then with TikTok, sometimes what I try to do is if I'm really busy with studying and it's an exam season, I'll try to cater my content around that. So rather than try to research videos, script them, plan them out, I'll just talk about what I'm doing on the day. I'll kind of be like, come with me for a study day or come with me to the library. Or like, I'm so exhausted, I've been studying all day. Like, I'll just focus the content around what I'm doing because then that makes it a lot easier to get out and be as consistent as I can.
Amazing, amazing. That's a lot of work you're doing right there, honestly. It's like you said, your medical studies, your medical exams then was a first priority before any other thing. And that's really amazing stuff. And so I want to throw more insights on Gigamedics. Recently I pasted an article to Gigamedics and I already have her through the help of Christina right here. She helped me to, connect with a lot of people that, works at Gigamedics that I did some teachings and some articles and wrote on, navigating pain management, and I have an expert because one of the criteria over there is to have an expert to proofread your article. So I already have like two, but my mind is telling me choose one. So once my application is approved, get published and go from there. So thank you so much, Christina, for sharing that with us.
No worries. I'm excited to see where your article goes.
Yeah, absolutely. So the third question goes this way. Hmm, are you ready? It's kind of like a big tricky. So
Okay.
you sure you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So can you share some of your memories or challenges you faced while creating medical content for platforms like TikTok and Gigimedics? Tell us.
Mm-hmm. Memories and challenges. Well, I've touched on the challenges already, so I'll maybe be a bit more positive. I'll talk about some of the positive memories. There's been so many positive moments with med school, really. I was actually talking about this with one of my friends. Like, we were talking about our highs and our lows. One of the most positive moments was probably when I was studying abroad with friends. It's called like an elective in the UK, where a few weeks you go abroad or stay in the UK and you just do a speciality of your choice. So I went to Malta, which is a really small country kind of on the south of Europe. And I was doing obs and gynae when I was over there. And that was a lot of fun because the weather was lovely. It was really hot all the time. I was like living near friends abroad and we were going like to the beach after placement, going on like boat trips, like going for meals all the time. That was probably a good memory from med school. And then some other moments that were really good in terms of Geeky Medics were I got invited to the Geeky Medics 1 million subscriber party. Recently, they hit, I think, 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And to like kind of like celebrate that and um, to kind of get everyone together, they had like a party in Newcastle, the city where it started. And they had like people that had been in the videos for years come to the party, people that kind of are doing a lot of the behind the scenes, a lot of the writing, the video production, the editing. Me and a few other people got invited that helped make the videos. And that was a really nice memory because it was just, I got to meet everyone that's kind of behind the scenes at Geeky Medics. And obviously the founder, that was the first time I met the founder. Um, in person. He's called Lewis Potter. And it was just a really good memory because it was like I've used Geeky Medics for years to get through my medical school exams, and I'm always on the website, like revising and studying. And so to be able to get invited to the party was like really cool as well. So yeah, there's been lots of highs and lows. I'm trying to think of them all.
Mhm. Wait, did you know who's Pamis Vivapur? You know her, right?
Oh no, I don't know that person.
Okay, so last year, did you attend that event that happened in Malta MedTech? Did
Oh
you?
no, yeah, I think I heard of that one. I heard of it, but no, I didn't go.
Oh, really? Why didn't you go?
I don't know if it overlapped with when I was there because I was in July. I don't know. I don't know if it was in July.
No, it was around ending of last year, around October, November, I guess.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's probably why I didn't go.
Wow. Okay, so thank you. So I'm really intrigued by what you said about how Gigamedics celebrated their 1 million plus subscribers. I pray if I'm given the privilege to write for the company, uh, I pray they can sponsor me all the way from
Mm.
Nigeria to the UK. I would love that. Honestly, I really love that.
Mm.
I pray it works though.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know a lot of people that work there. Having been at the party and met the behind the scenes, it's really doable. There's no kind of qualifications that you need to kind of start working for them. It's just producing really good content. Like when I reached out to the founder to kind of start maybe making videos, there was no kind of strict interview process. It's just, is your content really good, and is it really valuable, really accessible to people? Yeah, that's what they're looking for. Can't get my words out.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Christina. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Sorry. So
Mm.
we have four more questions to go. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So the fourth question goes this way: as a medical student, do you have any advice for your peers, your friends, about the transition from being a student to now a doctor? So, what are your advice for them?
Yeah, I know. Me and my friends are talking about this all the time. It's literally a few months away, and I know that as we get busy, as we go to placement, it's just going to come really quickly. So, I think my advice to my peers and my friends, and advice that I'd give myself as well, is to try and just focus on the positive. At the minute, it's quite a negative. There's a lot of negative conversations happening around the NHS and doctors' pay, doctors' quality of life. It's quite negative just because of all the political things going on, the strikes. And I think with some of me and my friends, when we're thinking about the work that we're going into, we always find ourselves saying, like, why did we choose this? We could have chosen something that pays better or something that's easier, quote unquote. Um, but I think we have to remind ourselves of the positives and the fact that there's a lot of amazing things about being a doctor, even if it's hard to see on at the like when you initially look at the situation. It is a privilege to be able to help people and be kind of someone that can literally be able to save lives. Like we have the knowledge to cure so many diseases, and the pay might not be great and the working conditions might not be great. But just as much as possible to try and focus on the positive, because I think it keeps you motivated to do the job and be excited about starting work as a junior doctor. And even if medicine isn't, in your future, I have some friends that don't want to continue or want to move country. It's just an amazing degree to have, and it doesn't discount all the memories that we've made, like some of the things we spoke about. Um, for 5 years, there's been so many highs and lows, and even if it's not your end goal to be a doctor, there's so many memories that you can kind of look back on.
Wow. Wow, that was an amazing, amazing advice to them. And like I said to people that it's only passion that can help you to thrive through med school. Because if you're not passionate about what you're doing, if you're not passionate about studying medicine or any other health related courses, you're gonna get stressed out. So just make sure you're very passionate about what you're studying and not really studying course that maybe your parents told you to, or your friends or your sibling, say, hey, I want you to do that course. Just do the course that you want to do. You want to study medicine, go for it. You want to study ophthalmology, radiography, radiology, any kinds of health related courses, you're free if you're really passionate for it. So thank you so much for sharing that, Christina.
No worries.
So the fifth question goes this way. How can you use social media platforms, like TikTok, to spread accurate medical information and prevent misinformation of medical content?
Mm. Yeah, that's a really good question. I think TikTok is especially a hot topic because I've noticed on there it's very easy for things to go viral, good and bad. You know, really good news can spread really quickly. Like if a celebrity has a baby and everyone finds out like in minutes, but then really negative things can spread really quickly as well. So when it comes to medical stuff, I think it's important that the information being shared is accurate, just in case it does go viral. But recently, the World Health Organization, the WHO, created a community of health professionals, people that work in healthcare, not just doctors, but nurses, pharmacists, medical writers. And I know it's called the WHO FIDES community, FIDES. And I think what they're doing is creating a platform and a community where very accurate and up to date, reliable information is being shared within the community, and then the content creators and healthcare professionals in that community can then use that information to touch on and reference in their content. That way, you know that there's at least like a reputable source for the information. Um, and it's coming from like a reliable place, like the WHO, like which everyone trusts. So I think if anyone's thinking about kind of citing certain scientific information, they should probably get it from like a reputable place like the WHO or the FIDES community.
I'm the one who told you about that opportunity, right?
Yeah, you did. You got me involved in that one.
Okay, so how did it go? How did it go? Did you reach out to
Yeah.
Virginia?
Regina, yeah, I think I did. And then I just basically signed up to the newsletter. Did you have like an onboarding Zoom? Like
Okay,
a Zoom?
have you done your onboarding, right?
Yeah, yeah. That was a while ago.
Yeah, I've done it since, but I haven't had the opportunity to do the necessary things I was asked to do, but hopefully
Mm.
I'm gonna do it. So it's amazing that you've joined. We need people like you over there because your content are really very amazing. So the audience needs to hear it. So thank you so much for sharing that.
No
So the
problem. Thank you. Very kind.
sixth question goes this way: what events or topics in medicine interest you in particular?
Mm. Um, for a long time, I really liked obs and gynae, which is just the science of mothers giving birth, pregnancy, delivery of babies. I really enjoyed that. It's what I studied on my elective. But at the minute, what I'm enjoying quite a lot is like health tech and how technology can be used in the NHS or how AI can be used in the NHS. I'm finding that really interesting. It's quite a new field of medicine or field of healthcare, but I think it has a lot of potential over the next few years. Like, I don't know about your healthcare system in Nigeria, but in the UK, it's quite outdated. Like the healthcare systems we use, even the notes, the interface, it's very slow, it's very laggy. So I think there's a lot of potential for how things could change in the future.
Okay, all right. So I want to know something. There's how med school over there in the UK is quite different. Like different from the US. That you can just move straight to medicine. Med school, you're studying that same course you want. So tell us how med school works in the UK.
hmm Med school in the UK is a bit different to other countries. So you can actually study medicine as like straight out of high school. You don't have to do pre-med, you don't have to do an undergrad first. You can be 18 and just start med school. And for most people, it's around 5 years. And then when you finish that 5 years, you're a qualified doctor and you can start kind of your practice. But what some medical schools do is they make it 6 years and you basically take a break halfway through and you go and study a different degree for 1 year. So I know people that have studied kind of psychology or they've done a bit of research and they've got published. Some people have done something like completely different in the science field. So some people can make it 6 years if they choose. Um, and then, yeah,
Yeah.
it's structured really differently in different countries, but it tends to be the first half of med school is very lecture based. You're kind of learning the basics of medicine. And then third year onwards is more practical. You're on placement, putting things into practice, shadowing doctors, and learning skills.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you this question. What was the name of that university you attended? Studied in med school?
In the UK,
Yeah,
yeah, so I go to Newcastle University.
absolutely. So I it skipped my mind. Do they do radiography over there?
Oh, I don't think so. You might have to double check though.
Newcastle University. Did I get admission over there?
Mm,
I can't remember. When I was in my first year in med school, I'll just tell you a little story before we wrap up the conversation. When I was in
mm,
my first year in school, there were a strike in my country, Nigeria. Every schools were shut down except the private universities. And I don't go to private; I go to public university, so a federal university. So they were like a strike for 8 months. So I due to my research skills and everything, I wrote personal statements. I applied to over 60 schools in
wow.
in general. I applied to 60 schools in general in the UK, the US, and Portugal, Finland, majorly in the Europe, but in North America is only US, I guess, and Malta. I'm not sure. I think it's Malta. I don't remember, but it was 60 admissions in general, and I was offered admission out of that 16 schools I applied for. I was offered, I think it's 55
Mm,
admissions.
that's really good. Well
Yeah,
done.
I I have evidence. I have the PDFs of the admissions on my phone, still on my phone. So
Mm,
it just where I just flip it whenever I just want to remember myself that I did
yeah,
this work.
yeah.
I can
That's a
count
huge achievement.
numbers of universities I got in the UK. Several of
Mm,
them.
mm,
Manchester University, Sunderland University, I guess. Um, Titside University,
mhm,
etc., etc. No, numbers of them. I think we got like 8 universities in the UK.
mm.
It was
That's
biomedical science, optometry, public health. I can't remember. That was in 2021.
mm, yeah. No, that's huge. I've heard of all those Manchester, Teesside, Sunderland. They're all really good unis.
Yeah, just thank you for everything. But I got partial scholarships for them, but the payments weren't available at the moment, so I just had to, you know,
Mm,
miss all this stuff. But it's well.
mm,
But it was a very hectic opportunity because I literally wrote the statement, personal statement. Personal statement is one of the toughest
mm,
things in the application. I wrote it by myself. Nobody
mm,
helped me. I already created it, but thank you for everything.
mm.
So we have the last question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
How do you plan to incorporate these into your content creation? The skills you have right now, you've gathered through your years in med school, and you're very soon going to be a doctor, a licensed doctor. So those skills and strategies you've incorporated throughout your med school, how are you going to use those strategies to incorporate in your content creation efforts currently?
Oh, that's a good question. I think about this a lot, because at the moment on my content, a lot of it's focused around either studying, university, med school, and soon none of that's going to apply. Like soon I won't be in university, soon I won't be in med school, I won't have to study anymore. So I'm always thinking like, what am I actually going to talk about next? Um, and I think at the minute I don't have a solid answer. I'm still very thinking and brainstorming what I want to talk about. I could very easily go down the route of, okay, here's day in the life of a doctor. I'm a doctor now. Here's like doctor tips. I could do that. But I know that that's very common online, and Not a saturated market, but there's plenty of creators doing that really well. So I don't know if I want to go down that route, but I'm definitely thinking about how I want to use my skills going forward and if I want to go down the same route or start something new. But I'm excited because I've started posting a little bit more on YouTube now. I quite enjoy long form content and kind of explaining topics in more detail and going into a bit more depth. I do enjoy short form. I've done that for a very long time now, but I think maybe I might branch into long form a bit more.
Wow. We've come to the end of the session. Christina, hey, you've been an amazing guest speaker. And, you have a very busy schedules and you're on your vacation because you just finished your med school exams. And finding this time to come talk to the audience is a very great honor to me and also to the audience. Thank you so much. So before we wrap up the session, what are your last word for the audience?
Um, Last words for the audience. Oh, I wasn't expecting this. Um, just that I'd say, regardless of the journey that you're on or what you're striving for, try not to make it, all consuming to the point where you forget to give yourself time off. I've had parts of my journey where all I was thinking about was content and all I was thinking about was studying, and I kind of neglected myself a little bit. I didn't give myself breaks or time to rest, time to spend with friends and family. I just thought I have to keep going, I have to keep working. And that's to some extent that's good because it shows you've got the work ethic and the discipline. But you'll never regret taking an afternoon off or taking a weekend off just to rest. So yeah, don't underestimate the power of just having a break.
That was an amazing nugget, Christina. Thank you so much. So if you love this content, do out to like, comment, and share to your network. And hopefully someone in your network will greatly appreciate this video. Thank you so much, Christina.
Thank you.